Okay, so I'm going to do 9 and 10 because they're pretty similar. Number 9 says f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 4x. Find f of 8. So all this means is if I ask you to give you f of x equals 2x squared minus 4x, and I ask you to solve for f of 8, all this means is that you go through and every time you see an x, you replace it with 8. So what functional notation basically says is that whatever is inside the parentheses, you square, multiply by 2, subtract 4, times that. So it essentially tells you what to do with what's in the parentheses, okay? And so that's all we do. So we have 8, so we basically replace 8 with x, and you just solve. Remember, you got to follow PEMDAS. So you have to square 8 first, you get 64 times 2. 4 times 8 is 32. And then we keep cleaning. So multiply by 2, it's going to be 128 minus 32. And that's going to give me, what, 696. And there's my answer. Okay, so as easy as that. Let's look at the next one. The next one is the same thing. Number 10 is the same thing, except I give you t minus 5. So what do we do here? Well, let me rewrite it. It's going to be f of t equals t squared plus 5t, and we're asking you to solve for f of t minus 5. So same thing. Instead of t, I have t minus 5, so instead of t, I plug in t minus 5. Okay, so again, all I did was replace all the t's with t minus 5, and then you clean it up. Now this one, you're going to have to FOIL. So remember, we said two things about foiling this out. You can either legitimately FOIL it, so t minus 5 times t minus 5, and remember we said FOIL stands for first, outer, inner, last. So when we FOIL this, we get first is t squared, outer is negative 5t, inner is negative 5t, last is positive 25. And when I clean that up, I get t squared minus 10t plus 25, right? And then we have the back part here, so we'll distribute this plus 5t minus 25, okay? But also remember, we said there's a shorthand way of doing foiling, so t minus 5 squared. So the other way of doing t minus 5 squared quickly is you square both of these, so it's t squared, negative 5 squared is 25, and the middle term is just t times 5 times 2. So I'm sorry, it should say t times negative 5 times 2. So t times negative 5 is negative 5t times 2 is negative 10t. And notice how this and this are the same thing. So however you want to do it, you can do it. I just want to expose you to both ways. So now that we have that, we just clean it up. So I only have 1t squared, so t squared. I have negative 10t and 5t, which is negative 5t. And 25 minus 25 is 0. So there's my answer. So f of t minus 5 is t squared minus 5t. And that is it. That's all you're going to have to do there. So all we do is just replace and solve. And note it's the same thing for both of them. Replace and solve. So hopefully that makes sense, and I'll see you in the next video.